Right now at 6, a crash on I-49 near Anderson leaves multiple people injured.
And after another round of severe weather across the area, we are considerably calmer for our Memorial Day. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
We'll take a look at the aftermath of Saturday night storms and how it affected people's Memorial Day weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday. It is Memorial Day. It is a day to give thanks to those who have served. We actually have a number of veterans that work here at KOAM, and so we want to thank all of them. And that's why we're here, able to do what we do every day, and that's why you get to do what you do every day. And thankfully, at least today, we'll be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, with the weather. So.
Oh, man, it has been a rough, severe weather season across the area. We discussed this earlier, but in our coverage area, I can't recall a time that we've had so many confirmed tornado reports just in our immediate coverage area here.
I know last year it wasn't like this.
No, last year was considerably calmer, and they're expecting a very active hurricane season as well for folks in the Atlantic. So 2024 is not the year for weather, unless this is something you enjoy. If you chase it or you go after it, I mean, then you have had your days covered. But otherwise, for the rest of us, it's been a little too much. Now today, though, looking great. In fact, we're starting off great. And how great is it? Well, we can show you with a look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. That's how great it looks. You got a bit of a breeze. It's not otherwise that bad. We got the sun rising. There's a stray cloud out there, but it is otherwise a beautiful start to the day. There's another view of the sun from MoDOT camera 32nd and Rangeline. And because it is Memorial Day, the roads are relatively deserted this morning. A lot of folks off for the holiday. Not everybody. The news, the weather, that never stops. So that's why we're here for you. A little cooler in some locations. We got some upper 50s, Neodesha, Parsons, and Iola, for example. The rest of us still hanging out in the 60s. And as we get our day underway, it will be sunny. It will be warm, low to mid 80s. The only issue we've got today really is dew point and humidity levels are going to be a bit up there. It's going to be muggy as we go through Memorial Day. And we'll have a light northwest breeze, so it'll be a bit of a cool breeze on occasion at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Today looks great. Tonight looks great. And then we see shower and thunderstorm chances returning to our forecast. And at this point, no severe weather is expected, which is great news for the 4 states. We'll break down details on that full forecast here in a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Many Elk River campers started their day packing yesterday. Floating and canoeing trips were canceled because of the severe weather that was supposed to hit the area on Saturday night. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
We're all going to get drunk on the river and, change your plans. I guess we're just going to go back and get drunk in a basement somewhere. I don't know.
Memorial Day weekend didn't go as planned for Joplin resident Travis Tate and his friends.
We got beads for, reasons, but it's just not going to work out, I guess.
When the group arrived for their floating trip, they learned the river levels were too high.
Really disappointing. A lot of our friends, one of them flew in. Our friend group was very spread out, so everyone traveled to come do this.
The disappointment comes because of safety. Some campsites asked visitors to evacuate the grounds as the river level was growing in the early hours of Sunday.
But we have a clearance level that we do on the bridge if we can get underneath or not. And so stuff like that, when we do see it coming up, we kind of have it predicted, almost to an art because it comes every year.
This tree is usually used as a reference for safe floating here at Big Elks Floats Camping and Lodging. Drew, can you tell me a little bit about this? How do you guys make the decision of we're not floating today?
Safety is our utmost importance to us, and when the water level approaches that tree, it's too high.
What are the risks?
Drowning, obstructions in the water due to floods. A lot of debris coming down the river right now.
Joplin resident Perry Ramsey and his friends enjoyed the Saturday on the river, but were surprised by the rain during the night.
Crazy. You just heard a bunch of thunder and whatnot, but yeah, we woke up and our buddies left at 4 a.m. because of obviously the conditions. We got a mattress and a cot and a bunch of water and a charger.
Even though some visitors were caught off guard.
Memorial Day weekend, is that a risk that you usually face? Is that something kind of common?
It always rains on Memorial Day weekend, every year.
Local authorities advise visitors to be aware.
Any low water crossings, If it seems like they're, if you've got water going over them and it's rushing, don't try it.
Make sure you guys keep an eye on the weather itself. Make sure you got your packages set up so that way whenever something does happen like this, you can grab it and go.
And get ready for future floating opportunities. Inao Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Besides the campgrounds, local authorities said it was also a busy weekend for them, from a car and a truck floating down the river to electricity being down. According to McDonald County Dispatch Center, from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Sunday, they received more than 100 calls related to the storm, twice as much as they would normally receive on an early Sunday hours. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about today's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Joplin's first responders are investigating a crash of a car into a pool house. The incident occurred in the Wildwood neighborhood of Joplin. Skid marks were observed in the driveway of the residence. The car crashed through a fencing and then continued to fall off a 4-foot retaining wall before crashing into the resident pool house. Joplin police say the incident happened during the night hours. No one was in or around the car, and an investigation is ongoing. Yesterday, Webb City Police spotted a stolen Kia passenger car in their city. A short pursuit through Webb City, then south into Royal Heights, ended at Joplin's Ewart Park as the occupants of the car bailed on foot. Joplin police assisted setting a perimeter and taking 2 people into custody. One person was detained by people at the time in the park until the police got him. Watch for updates to the story on our website, KOAM News Now. A serious crash on I-49 leaves multiple people injured and having to be transported by helicopter. The incident happened around 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning near the I-49 mile 10 mile marker. Deputies tell us the incident involved a van and an SUV. Traffic was diverted as emergency crews worked on to help the occupants and clear the highway. Medical transport helicopters and ambulances were observed leaving the scene. Bates County law enforcement is assisting in the investigation into a small plane crash near the Butler Airport. Officials say they were alerted by the incident around 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. The pilot was not injured and was in fact able to parachute from the plane prior to the crash. Federal agencies, including the NTSB and FAA, are conducting an investigation. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A political consultant is facing a steep penalty for making illegal robocalls that use the voice of President Biden. Plus, at least 18 people were killed when a powerful storm hit parts of the Midwest and South over the weekend. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Today is Memorial Day, and it's about more than the unofficial start of summer. The holiday honors soldiers who died in war while serving the country. Several towns claim to have started it, but Congress gives credit to Waterloo, New York. Memorial Days is also called Decoration Day. A New Hampshire political consultant is facing a steep penalty for making illegal robocalls that use a deep-face AI voice message of President Biden and spoof the phone number to defraud thousands of voters. It happened in January, the weekend before the New Hampshire primary. Steve Kramer allegedly admitted to the robocalls and spoofing campaign. On the calls impersonating Biden's voice, he told voters to vote in the primary and not in November. The Federal Communications Commission's proposed a $6 million fine this week. Kramer will have a chance to respond before the FCC issues a final decision. Also, Kramer is facing multiple counts of voter suppression. A man accused of setting a man on fire on a New York City subway train is facing new charges. Police say 49-year-old Nally Taylor committed a similar act last February. This video from that previous incident, Taylor allegedly tossed a lit container of flammable liquid at a group of people standing on a subway station platform in Manhattan. Police charged him with attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and arson. No one was hurt in the incident, but in Saturday's attack, a man suffered burns to his upper body. Paramedics took him to a hospital for treatment. Taylor is facing 8 charges related to Saturday's incident. At least 18 people were killed and dozens more were injured when a powerful storm hits parts of the Midwest and South over the weekend. Now, the threat moves to the east on this Memorial Day. CBS Astrid Martinez reports on the destruction from New York.
A funnel cloud twisted over North Texas, part of a strong storm system that tore apart homes, businesses, and vehicles. Frank Soltiziak hid in a cooler with some of his neighbors at a mobile home park in Sanger, north of Dallas.
I grabbed my dog, we headed for there, and it just, it was just unbelievable, the sound of all the destruction going on around us.
Everyone survived, as did dozens of others who packed into a bathroom at a truck stop in Valley View that's now torn apart. The mangled metal, an example of the storm's power.
I kid you not, 30 seconds in, someone goes, "Get to the bathroom now!"
At least 7 people, including 2 children, were killed and dozens hurt in Cook County, Texas.
They need your prayers. They need your support. And God willing, we will help them rebuild their lives.
There were also storm-related deaths in Oklahoma, where this funnel cloud was spotted near the town of Mutual. Roofs were torn off homes and vehicles flipped over in Claremore.
We certainly had a violent weather event.
More deaths were reported in Arkansas.
The house just started to shake violently, and I was like, nope, let's go to the laundry room.
Throughout the affected states, hundreds of thousands lost power. And as the system moves east on a busy holiday weekend, around 50 million people from Georgia to New Jersey are under the threat of more severe weather. Astrid Martinez, CBS News.
The Indianapolis 500 started 4 hours late because of the strong storms in the area. About 125,000 fans were temporarily evacuated from the stadium. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, as you can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, nothing out there. And it's been a minute since it's been calm. A couple of showers that fizzled out from some time ago near Rolla early this morning. And a live look from our camera on top of our building at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. As you see, we've got clear skies and a beautiful start to this Memorial Day. It's going to be a warm one. Temperatures low to mid 80s, sunny and breezy. Not really, though. Northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. However, dew point and humidity levels will be a little high, so do be prepared for some muggy conditions. We'll have another check of your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Good morning, I'm Amber Jenkins with your KOAM News Update. A serious crash on I-49 leaves multiple people injured and having to be transported by helicopter. The incident happened around 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning near the I-49 mile 10 mile marker. Deputies tell us the accident involved a van and an SUV. Traffic was diverted as emergency crews worked on helping the occupants and clearing the highway. Medical transport helicopters and ambulances were observed leaving the scene. Bates County law enforcement is assisting in the investigation into a small plane crash near the Butler Airport. Officials say they were alerted to the accident at around 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. The pilot was not injured and was in fact able to parachute from the plane prior to the crash. Federal agencies including the NTSB and the FAA are conducting an investigation.
And we've got a nice warm day out there for our Memorial Day. Sunny skies, low to mid 80s, and a northwest breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear through the evening and overnight, we'll fall back into the low 60s. And as we look ahead, got some morning shower, maybe thunderstorm chances. No severe weather Tuesday and Wednesday. More storm chances heading into Saturday.
3 young women are having an impact in the community of Elizabeth, Illinois in a sweet way. They opened a cupcake shop when they were kids, and 11 years later, they became a focus in the town. Joshua Blunt stopped by the shop to learn more about this sweet story.
An idea that three sisters introduced to the public at their local farmers market in 2013 when they were only 14, 12, and 8. Three Sisters Sweet Shop. After seeing consistent success from selling cupcakes, that stand soon became a brick-and-mortar reality for Madeline, Catherine, and Evelyn Walters, as they have been successful for 11 years now.
When we were growing up running this business, we were all also in school, so you have to work when you have a business, and we kind of have to miss out on going to the pool every day or summer camps or other fun activities that some of our friends were all doing because we had responsibilities at the sweet shop.
Now, not only does the sisters sell cupcakes, but they also sell ice cream, candy, and toys as well. Along with their parents' support, the Walters sisters say they were able to take things to the next level after getting funding from a rural development program led by Western Illinois University.
A couple years ago, we expanded the shop to have a whole another room of toys and gifts. And we've got a lot more employees than when we first started out. When we first started, it was just the three of us and our mom working.
But being business owners didn't distract the three sisters from their education. All three earned full tuition scholarships to college. Madeline is finishing up law school, Catherine is going to dental school, and Evelyn will attend St. Ambrose University for nursing. Madeline says they want to operate the business for as long as they can.
Well, I think we all have plans of eventually returning to the Elizabeth area. Hopefully the business could continue for a few years. Evie still has a few more years of being in college and needing a summer job when she's on break from college, and hopefully we can continue to grow after that.
And as for business advice,
I would tell them to make sure that they have a plan and to have some confidence in their plan, and if they are, to go for it, and to also look for support from your community. We were able to get some money from the community when we first started as a support to open up the business, and a lot of small communities have things like that for local up-and-coming businesses.
The Sisters Shop is only open during the summer. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Taking a look outside from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Beautiful start to the day, and it will be warm and it'll be a little bit muggy. We'll break down the details on that forecast and about our additional rain chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:23 on this Memorial Day Monday, and after all of that severe weather, we have got a fantastic start to the day. Our camera's top of the Cornell Complex, in downtown Joplin. Clear skies as the sun begins to rise. A little bit of a light breeze. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, looking fantastic as well. And of course, it is Memorial Day. It is a holiday. Most folks are at home, therefore the roads are a little emptier than usual today. Temperatures around the region, we are sitting in the low 60s, some upper 50s, and even some upper 60s. So a good smattering of temperatures, and this is not in the right spot whatsoever, is it? It certainly wasn't. Let's talk about now. Let's back this up. There we go. To our forecast for today. Now today we're looking good. We're talking to temperatures on the warm side, not bad though, low to mid 80s. However, dew point and humidity levels are going to be a bit up there, but we'll have a nice northwesterly breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. As you see, the future track has advanced in time. The temperature's changed a bit, but there's really nothing out there. It won't be until tomorrow morning, and we're going to start to see a few clouds roll in by about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then there's some differences in the models, so we'll see exactly how this plays out, but we could be seeing some scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder as we get our Tuesday underway. But the good news is we're not anticipating any severe weather. In fact, the overall chances of just a thunderstorm in general are relatively low. We're looking more at a rain event than anything. The biggest concern really is if we really do see this set up, then we could be looking at training, because as we advance this through several hours in the morning, as you see, it doesn't really move, and therefore we could have some flash flooding concerns across the area. But otherwise, that's going to be the biggest issue. And we head into the afternoon. This activity decides to pack its bags and roll on out of here, and we head into our Wednesday. By Wednesday morning, early morning too, we're talking 2, 3 a.m., we're going to see additional scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but again, no severe weather. But we'll see this continue through again the early afternoon, and then it clears out of here before we see additional opportunities for showers and storms on our Thursday. Let's take a look outside from our camera. 7th and range line. Sun is rising. It looks great. 61. Southwest breeze at 6. Dew points come down a little bit, but still it's upper 50s. Humidity, though, 90%. So it's still a bit of a buggy. Well, bugs are out there as well this morning, but it's a muggy start, and it'll be a buggy start as well. Temperatures, again, as we mentioned, we've got some upper 50s, low to mid 60s. As we get our day underway, sunny skies, about 78 by 11 o'clock this morning. This afternoon, as we mentioned as well, temperatures low mid 80s. Humidity levels are going to be up there a bit, a little muggy, and a northwest breeze at around 5 to 10. Clear skies through the evening and through the overnight hours as well. Down to 69 by 10, low 60s overnight tonight. We got our storm chances in the morning and early afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, low 80s. Again, no severe weather. Scattered storms possible on our Thursday and into our Friday. And we have more storm chances on Saturday. Sunday is not too bad. More storms as we roll into next week. Now, as mentioned, the good news is nothing out there is screaming severe weather situation for the next several days. We like that. But we are watching, at least right now, the possibility of maybe some stronger storms Friday, Monday, and Wednesday. So nothing to really worry about at this point, but we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, just some scattered storms. Temperatures, though, remaining warm, upper 70s and low 80s. That is a check of your forecast. Now here's Amber with a check of Health Watch.
Preterm and early term birth rates increase after heat waves, according to a study from the University of Nevada, Reno. Researchers looked at more than 50 million births in the U.S. over 25 years. There were slightly more preterm and early term births when the average temperature was higher than normal for 4 straight days. And rates were even higher for babies born to younger minority women with less education. When hospitalizations for COVID-19 were at their worst in 2020, patients with other issues were more likely to die. A study published in JAMA Network analyzed data from more than 3,000 hospitals. It showed pressure ulcer, heart failure mortality, and hip fracture mortality rates all increased by at least 20% during the weeks of high COVID admissions. And the active ingredient in popular weight loss drug may also protect kidney function in people who are taking the drug to fight obesity or cardiovascular disease. The trial data presented to ERA Congress in Sweden found those taking Salmitude were 22% less likely to have the adverse kidney-related event. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the Southeast Kansas Humane Society put on a cat cafe.
And the sun is rising. It's a beautiful start to the day across the area on this Memorial Day Monday. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, the 40th celebration of Mission Days kicked off last week and continued all weekend with events for all ages.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Amber Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday. It is Memorial Day.
Yes,
it's a day to give thanks to all those who have served our country, fought for our freedoms over a very long period of time.
Oh, yes. And it's worth it, though. It's definitely worth it.
It is. Those folks are stepping up so we can be here free to do what we're doing right now. And free for you to do what you are doing. So thank you to those who have served. And Mother Nature saying thank you in her own way after another weekend of strong to severe thunderstorms out there. Here we are again. We had more storms, more severe weather. Today, though, much better.
Good.
Much better. Let's start with a quick look outside from the MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, and there's a couple of cars on the road out there. Otherwise, the roads are relatively clear this morning. Temperatures, again, some upper 50s, Neodesha, Sedan, Independence, Newada, Parsons, and then the rest of us really hanging out in the 60s. Not a bad start to the day. As we get our day underway, it will be sunny. It will be a little on the muggy side. Humidity levels are going to be up there a bit. Dew points up there a bit as well. Low to mid 80s for our highs. Sunny, northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. One of the simplest forecasts we've had in quite some time. However, more shower and thunderstorm chances rolling in. Nothing severe at this point, but it is going to get wet again. We're going to talk about that in detail with your full forecast, and that is coming up here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. The Southeast Kansas Humane Society yesterday held a cat cafe. The goal...
So right now during this time of year it's kin season, so there's going to be a lot more kins that we see. Usually we hold around 30 or so cats. We do try to get some fosters out here, so it's always a good way to help out us, especially is our foster programs.
All available cats are spayed, neutered, microchipped, and up to date on vaccinations. The 40th celebration of Mission Days kicked off last week and continued all weekend. The event celebrates the history and heritage of the founding of Osage Mission in St. Paul, Kansas. Those who attended were met with activities for all ages as well as live music, and Saturday events wrapped up with a fireworks show.
It's great. This is a yearly event that we've done here. It brings a lot of people back to our community. We hold a lot of class reunions. We also give people a chance to bring their family. There's a lot of kids activities, so I think it's wonderful. It's a very exhausting event, but it's a great event that we are able to provide to the community completely free thanks to our sponsors and donors.
Sunday's event began with a church service and a Mission Days golf tournament. Friends of Crawford State Park are putting up flags in honor of Memorial Day. The flags went up at 8 a.m. each day during the weekend and came down at 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. The flags will come down at 4 p.m. today. In honor of Memorial Day weekend, volunteers from Peace Church Cemetery Association and American Legion placed flags at over 24 veterans' headstones at Peace Church Cemetery Saturday. Volunteers with the Peace Cemetery say they aim to honor and tell the stories of those who are laid to rest there, from the first grave that dates all the way back to 1846 to the most recent one in 2005. Also taking place at the Peace Church Cemetery after the flag ceremony was a veterans tour. The tour takes a look at the lives and careers of 10 veterans who are buried at the cemetery who served in 4 different wars in our nation's history.
Oh, this feels great. You know, all the camaraderie here with the guys, you know, especially all the branches. You know, we support each other, whether we're in the community or back in the day. You know, we used to just get together and just support each other.
All that was asked from the public was that they make a small donation towards the maintenance of the cemetery. We'll be right back with more news after this. People had the opportunity to learn more about the plants of Missouri. The Missouri Department of Conservation held a native plant sale at Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center. Attendees were encouraged to come and find native plants that they could add to their own landscaping. Vendors were also there to help and talk about the benefits of planting native species.
They are perfectly adapted for this environment because they just belong here. So that makes them really awesome for our pollinators and wildlife. They're great sources of habitat and awesome sources of food. And also they're just really, really pretty. So it's kind of a win-win situation for us as well as our wildlife.
The Missouri Department of Conservation regularly hosts a native plant sales like this across the state. The Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center hosts sales like this twice a year. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A California coffee company is brewing up business and helping female-led farms. And we have a mostly nice and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
We've got ourselves a warm one out there again, low to mid 80s and sunny skies, so much calmer weather. Northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Heading into the evening, we remain clear and clear overnight back into the low 60s. Could see a few scattered showers tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning, maybe a rumble of thunder, no severe weather, low 80s. More scattered storms Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and again next week.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a California company is brewing up business and helping female-led farms. It's a coffee business that exclusively gets its source from women-owned organizations and co-ops, including in Mexico. Lori Perez reports.
Every bean for LA's Cafecita coffee is roasted slowly and scientifically.
Knowing when to smell for steam and when to smell for smoke
But Cafecita owner Natalie Webb says what makes them all the sweeter is where they come from.
Women make up 70% of the manual labor on most coffee farms, but are far less represented as decision makers or as owners. And a lot of that is women can't own land a lot of times. It's in their husband's names and their father's names.
This is an estate in Chiapas, Mexico. Web sources exclusively from sustainable, women-owned farms and co-ops like this one. Formerly an international human rights lawyer, in 2020 she decided to take her advocacy in a different direction.
Women's rights is so important to so many people, and people don't know how to help. So I think having companies that are able to let customers make an impact just by drinking your cup of coffee, which you're going to drink anyways in the morning, choosing brands that align with your values, I think really resonates with a lot of people.
She says when Cafecita launched, they were the only roaster in the country sourcing exclusively from women-owned farms and remain the only one focused on women's empowerment. A percentage of every sale goes to supporting women's nonprofits around the world. And there's another female figure Cafecita supports, Mother Earth.
We wanted everything to be sustainable, so we have solar, and all the materials that we use are 100% compostable.
Cafecita's trailer uses 100% renewable energy, as does its roastery. It's a green, women-led, women-grown cup of joe.
Getting to a point where you can actually deliver not just a cup of coffee, but deliver a message with that cup of coffee, I find that super cool.
You can find Cafecita coffee at events and cafes around Los Angeles or online.
The United Auto Workers Union is accusing Mercedes of interfering in a union election at 2 of its factories in Alabama a week ago. The UAW claims the German automaker intimidated and coerced workers to vote no. The union filed an objection with the National Labor and Relations Board asking for a new vote. Mercedes says more than 90% of their workers participated in the election, and a majority of them voted against the union. Walmart and Capital One have ended a credit card partnership. The deal, linked in 2019, made a banking company the exclusive user of the retail giant's consumer credit cards. But Walmart sued Capital One last year, seeking the end of the agreement, claiming the bank delayed the processing of payments and servicing accounts. And if you barbecued this Memorial Day weekend, you may have noticed an uptick in prices at the grocery store. All the basics like meat, hot dogs, buns, and consignments are costing you an average of just over 10% more compared to last year, according to Data Stimly. The biggest increase, though, is relish, which costs about 50% more this year compared to last year. And in some areas, a 32-ounce bottle of Heinz organic ketchup is selling for more than $10. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Well, thankfully, I do not charge for the forecast, but if we did, I think with inflation, we could probably make a pretty penny. But we don't do that because we care about you, and we love you, and we also want to give you some good news on occasion, and that's what we're able to do this morning. Live look from our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell complex. The sun is rising, the skies are clear, and they will remain that way for our Memorial Day across the region. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line, just a few cars here and there. Of course, with it being Memorial Day, it's a holiday. Most folks at home today, and that's why the roads are a little more deserted than usual. Still get some upper 50s, Neodesha, Sedan, Independence, Parsons, and Nowata. The rest of us, though, hanging out in the 60s. And as we get this day underway, it is going to be sunny. It's going to be a little bit on the breezy side, and by a little bit, I mean we're talking northwest wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Not bad. Temperatures, though, warm, low to mid 80s, and we got to contend with some higher humidity levels, maybe some higher dew points. So could be a little bit on the muggy side for our Memorial Day. But otherwise, after all this severe weather, an opportunity to calm down and clear out before we see more shower and thunderstorm chances. We'll break down all the details on that in your full forecast here in just a moment. We're also about ready to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break. But first, as we do traditionally, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings for Memorial Day, we look back at a story of service and sacrifice, long overdue recognition as well for a World War II veteran. David Begnaud honors the memory of one of the last surviving members of an all-female, all-black unit that served overseas. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states, and on this Memorial Day, we are beginning in St. Paul with Eden Bourne, who was born on this day 8 years ago. Very happy birthday, Eden.
Hunter Schultz is turning 12 in Crestline, Kansas.
And a very special birthday celebration, Tessa Leach celebrating birthday number 14 in Chanute, just happens to share the same birthday with her mom, Sarah Bruner, who's celebrating birthday number 38, also, of course, in Chanute. A very happy birthday to you, Tessa and Sarah.
So wonderful. And Glenda Ragland is turning 66 in Riverton, Kansas.
And our neighbor in Crestline as well, Rick Hartsfeld, celebrating another year wiser. A very happy birthday to you, Rick.
And Sonja Blackford is celebrating Lamar, Missouri today.
And our list continues with Teresa Wilkerson celebrating birthday number 72 in Scammon. Happy birthday, Teresa.
And Solace Gray is celebrating today in Joplin, Missouri.
And of course, we love celebrating these birthdays and anniversaries, and we would like to celebrate with you. Amber, what do they need to do to celebrate with us?
You can just send your birthdays and anniversaries to our email at birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com, but make sure you add in a photo and what you're celebrating. Make sure you put that in before the 3 p.m. deadline for Monday through Thursday, and the 1 p.m. deadline, that's on Fridays.
All right, you definitely want to do that because you want to make sure that your birthday and or anniversary airs at the right time. And today, well, after another weekend of strong to severe thunderstorms across the area, and I'm telling you, this has been, I think, one of the busiest severe weather seasons across our region that we have seen in several years. We're going to get a bit of a break today. We're thanking our veterans for Memorial Day, Mother Nature doing the same by giving us a bit of a pause to enjoy. We've got sunny skies out in Joplin. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex. Got a light northwesterly breeze, and it will be warm. It's already kind of humid out there, and it's going to be muggy, but it won't be too bad, and at least will otherwise be dry in terms of rain. MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line. It is deserted out there this morning. Of course, today, the Memorial Day. Most folks are at home. They have the day off. MoDOT camera, US 60 and Missouri 59 Neosho, looking back to the west, looking fairly good as well. And as we take a look at the future track for today, there is nothing to show on it. The temperatures are changing. The time is changing. So it is working. It's doing its thing. It's just for the first time in a while, it's relatively quiet out there as we've got a relatively pleasant day ahead of us. However, as we head overnight into very early tomorrow morning, about 4 or 5 o'clock, here comes some clouds into southeast Kansas. Clouds, not clowns, but clouds. And we are looking at the possibility, as we go through the morning, of some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. So that's some good news at this point. Thunderstorm chances tomorrow relatively low. We could see some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. No severe weather is expected. The only concern we have about tomorrow is if this all gets going like this. As you notice as we go through the day, here we are 2 hours later, it hasn't really changed much. We go another couple hours down the road, still not a lot of change. So there's going to be that potential for maybe some localized flash flooding if we get these showers in exactly this setup. Then as we head into the afternoon, those will clear out and will be partly cloudy for our Tuesday afternoon and evening. Then we go overnight and into Wednesday morning and more scattered showers and thunderstorms. But again, no severe weather is expected. But we could see a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder by Wednesday morning. And then as we start to head into the afternoon again, that will start to clear out of here, and we'll be mostly clear with just a few clouds through the evening hours on our Wednesday. We go overnight Thursday, clouds begin to increase ahead of additional shower and thunderstorm chances. So today is really our main break. This is the driest day we'll have, and then we're going to see more rain and thunderstorm chances. 61 in Joplin does feel like that. Dew points at 58, but that's what we're talking about. Going to make it feel a little stickier out there. Humidity's at 90%. Wind is southwest right now at 6 miles an hour. Around the region, temperatures not bad. We are in the 60s. Got some upper 50s out to the west and southwest. Sedan, Independence, Newata, Parsons, Neodesha into the upper 50s. Everyone else, though, hanging out in the 60s. As we get our day underway, way. Sunny skies out there, 78 by 11 o'clock this morning. And again, we'll have that northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour on what's going to be a warm but somewhat muggy day across the area. We're going to have another look at your forecast plus the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we make the switch over to Fox 14, which by the way, that happens at 7 a.m., with inflation and the cost of food rising, it could be harder to stay on your diet. We're going to have tips on how to diet at a lower cost.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A serious crash on I-49 leaves multiple people injured and having to be transported by a helicopter. The incident happened around 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning near the I-49 mile 10 mile marker. Deputies tell us the accident involved a van and an SUV. Traffic was diverted as emergency crews worked to help the occupants and help clear the highway. Medical transport helicopters and ambulances were observed leaving the scene. Bates County law enforcement is assisting in the investigation into a small plane crash near the Butler Airport. Officials say they were alerted by the incident around 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. The pilot was not injured and was in fact able to parachute from the plane prior to the crash. Federal agencies including the NTSB and FAA are conducting an investigation. Many Elk River campers started their day packing yesterday. Floating and canoeing trips were canceled because of the severe weather that hit the area on Saturday night. Some campsites asked visitors to evacuate the grounds as the river levels were growing in the early hours of the day. Some campgrounds said they were sold out because of the holiday weekend, but they preferred to be cautious and avoid putting their customers at risk. That's a check of today's top headlines and news you need to know before you head out that door.
Today it is going to be a relatively decent day. We're talking highs, low to mid 80s. Humidity levels may be up there a bit, so it could be a bit on the sticky side. Sunny skies, northwest breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies through the evening and into the overnight, and we'll fall back into the low 60s. Could start our day with a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder tomorrow and also Wednesday, and then those will clear out by the afternoon. No severe weather expected, low 80s. More thunderstorm chances Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with at least one more break possible by this coming Sunday. But boy, today is going to be one of the driest days we have in a while, so enjoy it. Mother Nature thankfully cooperating for Memorial Day.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making All-American Shake in Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, kids at Wildcat Glades gets a hands-on experience with some local creatures you might be able to find in the water.
Plus, members of the Joplin Outlaws are going to join us in the studio to talk about their upcoming games. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. So hopefully you are able to enjoy the Memorial Day. As we mentioned in that one story, the river level's rising.
Yes, it is.
Some campsites closed because of that. Others closed because of just extensive damage at those campsites. So maybe just stay home, celebrate Memorial Day, celebrate those who have served our country in the quiet of your own backyard.
And safely.
And safely. Boy, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Today, that is it, though. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.